Hello, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Are You Free for Coffee podcast. We are currently on a break to snuggle Natasha's beautiful new baby, and we will return with new episodes starting season 3, October 26, 2022. For now, enjoy some of our favorites from previous seasons. Until next time.
Hello, guys. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Natasha.
And we were wondering,
are you free for coffee?
Welcome. Today, you guys, we have a very important guest. My youngest daughter, youngest child, my favorite, Kennedy, newlywed Bradley.
Yes.
You guys, Kennedy is so accomplished. I'm not just bragging. It's not just mom love. She is a UT grad, Hook 'em Horns. She has her master's degree from the University of Chicago, which she still lives. I'm kind of upset about that, but okay. But she found her wonderful husband there, so I'll forgive you. And she's a social worker. And not just a social worker. She's not just a do-gooder. She has a book club, guys, a really cool book club.
Yeah, an accomplished one.
Yes, we wanted her to tell you about it. So, Kennedy, tell us about your book club.
Yes.
First, tell us the name of the book club.
Yeah, so it's called Ken's Book Club for original, and we've been around for like a year now. We got started pretty soon after George Floyd was murdered last year, and it was kind of just in response to wanting a space to like learn and hear Black stories from Black people, and not just like the trauma ones, which like we do also talk about oppression and just like what does it look like to be Black in America or Black in the world, but also like exploring Black love and Black resilience and joy and all of these things.
So cool.
It's just a very Black club.
So that's her
niche. Yeah. I think growing up as an 80s baby, I think every book they present us with, it's always trauma. You know, you always leave feeling so heavy and burdened, and there's also just a little twinge of hate, you know, when you read these books and everything is oppression. And I am just happy that there's a platform where people can read and learn, and it's not just all oppression, you know. What do you have a favorite book that you've covered, or what book you're currently covering?
Oh man. Okay. It's maybe not like my favorite book, like in terms of it being written so well and just like, you know, a literary like masterpiece, but it was really fun and it really got me out of my comfort zone. It's called Pym, Pym, and it's by, I can't remember the author's name, but it's about this man who, he's obsessed with Edgar Allan Poe, and Edgar Allan Poe has one novel that he ever wrote, and it's about this sailor named Pym who goes around the world, and he's trying to find like the ultimate place of like whiteness.
Okay.
Like where whiteness began. And this Black professor who's obsessed with Edgar Allan Poe, he thinks that that's real. Like he's like, I can sail the 7 seas and I will be able to find not only like the origins of whiteness, but also the origins of Blackness, and that's going to solve this like race problem that we have. So he gets this crew of these like just like mismatched Black folks, and they get on a boat and they're trying to figure out like where Blackness originates from, and they meet these creatures along the way, and these like it's wild. It's a really wild ride, but it's super good and super fun.
So is it kind of a fantasy genre, you think, or sci-fi?
Yeah, I would say fantasy.
Okay. That's interesting.
Well, I found the author because I'm going to order this book. It is Matt Johnson. It's Matt with one T.
Yes.
And so, yeah, you can find it.
We'll put all the links, you guys,
Yeah.
on our...
It's about $14. So, or you could go to your library. I want to encourage you to support libraries. We need them and we need to keep supporting them. But if you want to buy it, it's $13.99 on Kindle. So
give us another couple of recs, Kennedy. Couple recommendations for summer reads.
Do y'all like messiness?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay, I have a couple of messy recs. So,
and don't forget to tell us about Americana.
Okay. Let me do messy first.
Okay.
So, The Secret Lives of Church Ladies.
Ooh.
Have either of you read that? Ooh. Okay. So, it's like a short story collection. Which this was like the first short story collection that I ever read. I didn't really think that I would be into short stories, but it's by Disha Philyaw, and it is just, each story is about a Black woman or a Black girl and her reconciling her faith with also like her desire and just like her humanness.
Ooh.
And it's sexy. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of family drama. There's a lot of church drama with, pastors doing and saying things they shouldn't be doing and all of that stuff. It's so good. It's really
church. It's Real Housewives Church Edition.
Basically, it's so good.
Oh,
I'm gonna get this.
Yeah,
Okay. That actually sounds really good. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. The other like messy book that I would recommend, I think it's a really good beach read, would be Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid.
Such a Fun Age.
Okay.
It was a Reese's book club pick.
Oh, okay.
So
we
it's
love
pretty
Reese.
Popular. Yeah.
She does have some good ones.
It's super messy. It's about like this young Black girl that babysits for this white family, and the mother is very like, I don't know if y'all watch Little Fires Everywhere.
Yes, I did.
So Reese's character, like how just like ignorant she wasn't like maybe overtly racist, but she was so ignorant about race.
Yeah, she was.
It was like super problematic and dangerous. That's how this mother is that she babysits for, and it's ignores race in like a really interesting and like fun, dramatic way. It's so good. I read it in like 2 days.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm going to give my recommendation, but I do want to hear about Americana.
Okay, so I read Americana. It was the first book that I read in quarantine, and I think I was just like overloaded like a few weeks into quarantine with screens. Like I was always on my phone. I was working from home, so I was just like looking at my computer all day, and I just needed a break. So I had bought the book like years ago. I think I was like a freshman in undergrad when I bought the book, and it was just sitting on my shelf. So I started reading it. It's by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, and it's just like this epic love story about this boy and a girl who, started dating in high school, and they were just kind of like each other's the one that got away. And they go off and do their own thing. The boy ends up getting married, and he has kids, and he's in the UK, she's in America, but they just kind of like, they're searching for love, but they're searching for love knowing that they've already kind of had the best. And it's just about how they find their way back to each other. And it's super beautiful and super messy. And it was just the first book that I read by a Black author about Black people just doing normal human things. And
just
it's not just like tangent. Is that a word? It's not dependent on them being Black.
Okay.
And it was just super revolutionary for me.
That sounds so fun.
Yeah. that one I do.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pick that up.
I do want to read that. So it's kind of a second chance. Is it kind of a second chance romance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Second, third, and fourth.
No, we're not done with book club, but that was a segue. because I just wanted to give y'all a little update about Ben and Jen Part 2. They are still going strong, y'all. You know, we're all in. We are in. We're in for it. So,
yes,
as far as we
love
know,
them. You love them.
I do love them. I love the story. I love a do-over.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
So, that's just a little update for, Ben and Jen Lovers Part 2, 2.0, whatever we calling it. But they're still going strong as last we heard. Okay.
Yes.
So continue, Kennedy. Sorry. That was just a little segue. So even see Americana, everybody loves do-overs.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Bennifer, but I do like a do-over.
Yes.
I just think Jayla should be by herself for a little while.
I agree.
Yeah, but everybody can't.
So currently, Lisa is outvoted 2-1. I think she needs to chill out.
Go somewhere, sit down.
Jenny from the block needs to go back to the block and chill for a minute. But I mean, I do love the idea of a second chance, right? So more power to them. I had a book recommendation that, from what I remember, you have not read, and that's Children of Blood and Bone.
Mm-hmm.
So I like you. So personality-wise, I am a very outgoing introvert. When the pandemic hit, I was excited to be at home, to be in my own space, to just get to read, to chill. I'm not a huge TV watcher, so like for the most part, it was really quiet, minus my 2 kids, right? So every day at nap time, I was like running to my books, and this was one of them. Children of Blood and Bone. It is Nigeria. Sounds so bad. It's Nigeria meets Harry Potter. And what I mean by that is they apply a lot of history, a lot of factual history for that area, for that part of the world, for those cultures. And they tie it into the magic that you get from just natural elements, right? From the water, from the fire, from being alone in the dark and being at one with yourself. And in its own way, it's a really empowering read, because much like you said earlier, with so many books being about trauma and slavery and oppression, even though there's certainly an element, I don't want to give away too much, there's certainly an element of that in this book. You have a group of people working to break free, so to speak, but there's also this empowerment because they're finding themselves along the way. And that's what I think I love the most about that book. And then Part 2, now I have not finished Part 2 because the author has taken a break to work on the movie rendition. And so Part 2 is Children of Virtue and Vengeance. And I have a friend, we were reading it together. Yeah, they're good titles. And they are applicable to the storyline. So there's some magic, there's some good battles, but there's also some sexual tension. These are all younger people. So if it was modern day, they're like 16 to 21, right? The main characters who are doing this battling, who are fighting, against magic or for magic. But it's a really good read. It's a really good, I think you would read it in like a few days. So it's a really good one.
You know what, girl? If you like that, have you heard of the Gilded Ones?
I have heard of it. I've not yet read anything.
Yeah, I know everyone kind of like links those together. Like if you like one, you'll probably love the other as well.
Okay.
I haven't read it, but it is, I think, in that same kind of like West African fantasy type world.
I might read that next, and then we will just have to have you on again to discuss the next one.
Well, Kennedy did recommend to me Get a Life, Chloe Brown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I did read, and it was adorable.
Oh.
If you guys like romantic novels, chick lit, that would fit the bill for that. The interesting thing about that book is they are not typical chick lit protagonist.
Okay.
Which I enjoyed. She's a bigger girl. She's dealing with chronic illness. The guy is not a very typical. So that was really enjoyable. They're kind of normal people that everybody wants love, and there's someone for everyone, and it was really good. I enjoyed it. Really cute.
So
And it's
Talia
also a
Hibbert.
series.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Talia Hibbert. It looks like.
Yes. So
Take
it's a
hint.
trilogy.
Yes.
So I read the first one and I passed it on. So I will be reading the second. And I am going to for sure read Americana.
Okay.
Oh, and The Secret Lives of Churchill. I think I might like that.
Yeah, I'm
too.
going to read that
Yeah.
too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, let me know what you think.
We will.
Yeah. So you guys, we will link Kennedy's information and all the info on the books and authors
On our Instagram.
On our Instagram
Yes.
to let you know. And please join Ken's book club.
Yes.
But and we want to ask y'all, have you seen Netflix's High on the Hog? Has anybody watched that? Watch it. Please watch it. It is, I mean, if you think it's kind of like a Food Network type food show, it is not.
Mm-mm.
It is really a history lesson on African Americans from the slave ships to
What, modern day food?
Pretty much modern day.
Yeah.
But it uses food as the vehicle for the history lesson. It's so interesting. The host he's just the best ever. Has the most calming voice. He's super sweet. I would just encourage everybody to watch it. Get your kids to watch it. It's a great history, interesting history lesson about African Americans. And did you know that we invented mac and cheese? Drop the mic. We invented mac and cheese, you guys. So
if you think about American cooking, though, like from a history perspective, like really, if you think about work and labor from an American history perspective, although it's probably taboo culture now, slavery is a part of American history, right? We like to run away from it. We like to pretend it didn't exist. I've even read, indentured servants. I'm like, not by definition, but it would stand to reason that if you really look at all of the inventions made by Black Americans, food is going to also be a big part of that.
Yeah.
And soul food has been imitated and implemented in so many different recipes that it would almost be silly to think that it did not come from someone's kitchen where there were slaves, right? Because unless you were very, very poor, and even very, very poor people historically had one or two slaves. So you had someone doing some work, you had someone cooking. But I think Netflix has kind of like bogged us down with food documentaries. And I think this is where they're kind of turning the corner, where it's a little bit of a history lesson.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
It's not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
I think I was expecting more of a, just like a soul food
documentary.
Right.
Kind of, yeah.
Just all kinds of recipes about that. And it's not. It is not that.
And it's also not Super Size Me, which I'm very into, like what food does for the body. I love these kind of conspiracy. Yeah, and it's not that. It's not that. And I thought it was going to be. And I was like, oh, this is good.
But if you like history,
yeah,
it would behoove you to watch it.
Yes.
And I really, if you have older elementary, junior high school kids, I would encourage you to get them to watch it because it is interesting and a lot of cool things are revealed in it. So I know you guys have heard about Naomi Osaka and her bowing out of her Grand Slam
tournament
pursuit in regards to her mental health. And we were just wanted to talk about, like, what are you doing to take care of yourself? What are you doing to take care of your mental health? I went to Kennedy's wedding and I got Sweet July, which is Aisha Curry's magazine. And you guys, if you have not read her magazine, I would encourage you to do so. It's just a cool magazine. It's got a little bit of everything. She's a foodie and had a food program show on the Food Network, but so it has a lot of good recipes, but she just has a lot of just varied things. A lot of she highlights entrepreneurs, people of color, women's issues, and
marriage issues,
entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, and businesses, and it's just a really interesting magazine. But in the spring issue, she had an article about self-care, and she had some really, really good tips. about, getting happy, rock out to your favorite song, yoga, meditation, journaling, just different things that you can do for your own
improvement, for your own self-care.
Self-care.
Yeah. I think there's this like very capitalist, very money spending, very American movement where they're confusing self-care with spending money. It's like for some people, sitting at a spa is not their version of self-care. For someone who takes no joy in like getting their nails done or getting a pedicure or getting their hair done, for them to go spend just crazy amounts of money on this, they're going to walk away from it feeling so empty. And I don't remember who it was, but it was a friend of mine. And he said that self-care is not one size fits all. So what works for one may not work for another. I am like a really outgoing introvert and I love nature. So like put me on a 7-mile hike and I'm in heaven. But that's not everybody's cup of tea. Like when we get ready to hike anywhere, my husband's like, how long is this hike? And I'm like, oh, it's not that long. And he's like, okay, so not that long to you or to me? Because to him, he's got like a 7-mile cap. My cap is like 20 miles. Like I will camp outside under the trees, wake up and do it again. And that's for me, that's it's like meditation for me. Like it's just everything.
Yeah, that sounds like hell to me. like the lowest level of hell.
See? Self-care is not one size fits all.
That's where Satan lives.
I love it. We went hiking once and my husband kept saying, do you think there's bears? Do you think? And I'm like, no. And we get to this point, there's a park ranger and he turns us around and I'm trying to like, be like, tell the guy like, don't say it. He's like, yeah, there's been a lot of bears and people are getting attacked. I was like, oh, okay. And my husband's looking at me like, okay, so you lied. I'm like, I was like, okay. So we went back, probably like 4 miles to our car. And he was like, take me to civilization. Like Kennedy, my husband loves Chicago. And he's like, we should go to Chicago. And I'm like, no, let's go hiking in Wyoming again. So Kennedy, what do you do for self-care?
Self-care is super simple for me. I think self-care really is just boundaries.
Yes.
And so, especially this past year, a lot of us are working from home, like shutting off at 5 p.m. and not just like being on your laptop, which is like so easy to do.
Yes.
But like actually saying that like, okay, when work is done, I'm actually going to be done with work. Not taking that meeting that like you don't actually have to be a part of, but for some reason they want to keep inviting you to it. And also just like music. Like for me, one of my favorite parts of the day is cooking dinner. And so I married someone that cannot cook. And so cooking is my thing. And then he washes the dishes afterwards.
Yay! Good job.
That's fair.
And so I cook and I play pop music as I cook, like really just like obnoxious bubblegum fun pop. And that it's like it feels like I'm just like washing off the day as I'm doing that, and I'm like getting back into myself.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is good.
A mani-pedi always works for me. And
I feel like you're girly.
I do like my own company, I have to say. Like I guess it depends if you're an introvert or extrovert. I know extroverts, they need people. They need to be around people to feel happy and productive, and I don't. And so the quarantine taught me like how few people I really like or need, really.
Yeah.
Like some people, when you see them again, it's like, gosh, I didn't miss you at all.
I didn't. I could have.
Isn't that terrible?
No, it's
true. That's true. I just like my own company. I did rediscover journaling, and I have enjoyed that.
Okay.
What about TV, Mom? You always watch TV.
I do like TV because I'm a child of the 60s. We watched like 2 channels and enjoyed it.
Yes.
So yeah, I do like, and I have certain shows that I really have to watch. But
and she turns me on to good shows.
I do like to veg out and watch TV. I do.
So Kennedy, I don't know if you know this, but I own a bakery with my husband, and so it's December and cocoa bombs are going crazy. we sold over 5,000. So I am like on my feet, my legs. I have on compression socks. I mean, it's that bad, right? And so your mom's like, you have to watch Bridgerton, and I'm like, huh? Like, what's Bridgerton? And so she's telling me, and I'm like, okay. I said, well, this is what I can do. I can put in my Bluetooth. I can listen to it in my ear, because at this point, you know, I'm working around the clock. And so I'm listening, and I'm like,
can you imagine what did Bridgerton sound like? You know what I mean? If you're not seeing the pictures, are you putting that together at all? I don't think I would have been that smart.
No, I'm going to tell you, I didn't understand why the girl wasn't pregnant, right? Because again, I'm listening. So I remember when she goes
she didn't either.
She didn't know.
That's the hook.
Daphne and I were just as ignorant together. We were just ignorantly bliss. And so when she goes to her handmaid and she asks her, I literally remember grabbing my phone because it's playing on. I was like, wait, what? And so for a solid 10 minutes, I'm like, oh, that scoundrel. I can't believe he did that. And so I'm almost done. And my mom is very much so a television person. And she calls me and she's like, I'm watching this show, and she's telling me all about it. My mom never learns titles. So I was like, Mom, you're watching Bridgerton. Stop talking. You're going to give it away. And she was like, oh, wait, are you watching? I said, kind of, because I can't even explain to her that I'm listening to the show. My mom she cannot fathom podcasts, anything listening. She's like, why? Why would you do that? So I said, yes, Mom, but you're going to give it away. So I tell her the last thing I heard, which is that scene where she goes back to him and seduces him, and she has definitely figured out how things work. And so my mom's like, call me when you're done. And so we finish about the same time. And just the frenzy, the craze, all the social media of Bridgerton. I don't watch TV, so I'm never involved. So I felt so a part of because everyone
the Bridgerton community.
And I would not have known if Lisa hadn't told me, hey, you need to watch this. And so we're going to be covering this in an upcoming episode, but I am going to officially dive into Outlander. Do you watch this, Kennedy?
I tried.
Ooh.
I got about halfway through the first season.
Okay.
And it
stop. Just stop. You're going to hurt my feelings. Just stop. So you might not be in the wheel.
I'm going to give it 2 seasons. I'm going to give it 2 seasons.
We're going to discuss this at a later date.
Yes, I'm going to give it 2 seasons. But Kennedy, I will DM you if I'm like, girl, I can't do this. I'm going to let you know. So Lisa, you said
very sexy.
It's very sexy.
That's why Mom likes it. I'm convinced.
It is.
Okay.
It's epic, which is why I'm going to read Americana. I do like epic things.
And you like romance.
I do. I love romance, and I like something big. You know, a big romance, a big story, all the, I do. Because it took me a while to get into Outlander, because just the premise of it, like, okay, time travel, Scotland, why would I want to watch
this? That's what I want to watch.
But that doesn't sound, but the time travel is incidental for me. Like, okay. It is part of the story, but it's not the whole story.
It's not the main thing.
Yeah, because otherwise I just couldn't, it just didn't sound like anything I would like.
Well,
but
let's switch up.
I got over it. But wait, Kennedy, we have to do the sexiest man alive.
I was actually going to say, let's switch it up and let's do the best show alive. But it's up to you.
No, because I don't know the best show alive. I had to think about that.
So Kennedy, every week we do the sexiest man alive this week.
So who are you feeling this week? We know you're newlywed and your husband and stuff, but somebody else.
But someone you can share.
The sexiest man alive.
This week.
Yes.
So it could just, you remember how you used to, like when you were in junior.
Up next, our picks for this week's Sexiest Man Alive. But first, a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. During hard times, it can get really difficult if you don't have anyone to talk to. Being alone with your thoughts can be an isolating feeling that can allow negativity to consume you.
This is why we are sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to.
There is a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000 plus therapist network that gives you access to help that may not be available in your area. You just fill out a questionnaire to help assess your specific needs, and then you get matched with the therapist in under 48 hours.
Then you schedule secure video and phone sessions. Plus, you can exchange unlimited messages, and everything you share is completely confidential. You can request a new therapist at no additional charge anytime.
Join the 2 million plus people who have taken charge of their mental health with an experienced BetterHelp therapist. So many people use BetterHelp that they are currently recruiting additional therapists in all 50 states.
Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/free-for-coffee. That's betterhelp.com/free-for-coffee. You're high and stuff, you'd have a crush on somebody, and then I'd ask you about him, and you'd say, "Oh, we broke up." Like you would just have him for a day or two,
and then you're done.
It's like that, and then you can break up just today, just for the day.
Go first. Let me think of somebody.
Okay. I y'all.
Who do you have?
I'm feeling well. Last week I think, or 1 week I had Ben because I'm feeling Ben because he's back with Jen.
Ugh.
Ben by himself don't do it for me.
White bread.
But here's another one. Tony Goldwyn, who is Fitz from Scandal. And he's kind of like that with Carrie. He's so sexy and just all the feels. Now, by himself, I mean, he's cute. He is a cutie. But, with her, it's the chemistry and the something. And I watched, this is how bored I was. I was rewatching Scandal.
I could not get into it.
He is just a cutie, y'all. And very presidential.
Yeah, he does really have that air about him.
And got a lot of presidential swag.
Okay.
So that's who I'm feeling this week.
He doesn't do it for me. But he obviously does it for thousands of women, right, across the nation. So mine is going to be, and this is like my childhood crush, but he's still so hot to me, Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, he is.
Oh my God.
I like him.
Daddy Jeff is everything.
He is.
And he actually improves as he gets older.
Smart cute.
He's very
smart.
Smart cute. Yes, he's smart. But
smart is sexy.
It is. But from Jurassic Park, where he kind of played this like playboy idiot almost, to now he's intelligent and well spoken. The gray hair.
He's aging so well.
So well. So mine for the week is Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, I could do him.
Now Kennedy.
Kennedy, what about you?
I know you may be working from home. Walk away from your husband.
This one, he's a little youngster. Harry Styles.
That's fair. He is cute.
He's cute.
He is cute.
He's so cute. Like, okay, and when he was in One Direction, he was like cutesy, like a little boy cutesy.
Yes.
But now he has like
a grown man cute.
He's got an older woman.
Hair.
Who's he? He's dating. Who's he dating? It's an older person. Let me think.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm gonna look this up.
What is it? Jason Sudeikis' ex girlfriend or wife? What's her name? Oh my gosh.
I'm drawing a blank.
I'm having a
but I am with you. He's
got an older
vibe about him.
Older person.
Olivia Wilde.
Olivia Wilde. He's with Olivia Wilde now.
Yes.
And I love that he's not so masculine. Like it makes him like more sexy to me that he is okay with like just wearing whatever he wants.
Like a dress. Like, he was in a dress.
Free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has a cute little smile. I'm going to agree with you. He is cute.
He's very cute.
Kennedy got my vote for the week out of the two of you because I'm not going to vote for Ben.
Yeah.
I'm not going to vote for Ben.
That's a little. The young ones.
He's too young for you.
I feel like a pedophile.
He's cute,
but he's cute.
But he's not sexy. He, Jeff Goldblum is sexy.
Yeah,
but Harry is cute. He is cute for someone his age, right? And that's not me.
How old is he?
Girl,
is he legal?
He's older than me. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's okay. Let me say this to the people who are my age. He was born February 1st of 1994. Do you understand? I was a whole fifth grader. I was in fifth grade.
He is older than you, Kennedy, a whole year.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Wow.
But see, that's still too young for me.
Like, oh yeah, me too. Oh God, I can't even.
My stomach just did a flip.
It's like my mind doesn't even go in that frame. It's just like that. Oh,
I can't do it.
No, he's sexy.
But he is cute.
Not
to
feeling
me.
that,
Yeah,
but
he's cute to me.
He's sweet, and I know millions of girls.
Swoon over him. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Kennedy, it was so lovely. Seriously, so lovely to have you on our show.
You have to come back and do it again.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
And so we will be tagging everything that you have, and we will definitely we'll pick up a book that you're covering so we can do a recap, and we can kind of do a book club recap. Do you have an Amazon list on your page?
I try to stay away from Amazon.
Okay, that's fair. Well, if you know what,
she makes it very accessible. She wants people to be able to get to libraries or get it free.
That's fair,
which is cool.
Yeah, so I will. I do thrift books sometimes, thriftbooks.com.
Yeah,
so we will tag that by the end of this week.
And half price books. If you live in Texas, I don't know if anybody else has it. Does Chicago have half price books?
The suburbs do.
Really?
Okay, so they might be nationwide. That's a good source.
Yes, that's a great source. Yeah. You can sell back books, sell back CDs. You can do all kinds of stuff. We have an episode coming up. We'll talk about collections, and that's going to take you to my half-price book addiction. But it was so wonderful to have you. Let's all say it. Mrs. Bradley.
Yes,
see, you got to get used to that. And say hello to him.
Mr. Bradley.
Mr. Bradley, that's right. And we will have you again soon. It was so great to have you. Guys, on this episode, we will be sure to tag and post Ken's Book Club. And we always post any affiliates, anything that we mentioned that's worth buying, seeing, or doing. We will post it on our Instagram. Feel free to follow. Make sure that you download our podcast. And until next time.
Part of the Boundless Audio Podcast Network.